The war had left the moon of Dalvik. 7 nothing but scorched stone and smoking valleys. Once a lush outpost teeming with alien vegetation and neutral settlements, it was now a ruin caught between 2 colossal powers, the Terran Military Confederation and the Illith Syndicate, a xenocratic empire of shape-shifting assassins. Corporal Devon Rowe was among the few survivors of the last skirmish, Operation Prism Dagger, a mission that had turned into a massacre when the Illith unleashed a psychic wave weapon. The squad had been scattered, torn from one another by a mental scream that cracked helmets and fractured minds. Now, 3 days later, Devon limped alone through the wreckage of a charred biodome. His armor cracked and systems failing. He searched for survivors, supplies, or a signal. Nothing. But what he found was far stranger. Under a collapsed section of the dome wall, partially buried in bioglass and twisted steel, was a figure. Slender. Breathing barely. Skin like metallic silver poured over muscle. Alien. Illith assassin. She was infamous even among her kind. Ketheri Vel. Her name had echoed in human intelligence files for months. A phantom hunter responsible for over 24 targeted kills. And now she lay here, unconscious and bleeding, her cloaking field flickering like a dying flame. Every protocol screamed at Devon to kill her. She was the enemy. A war machine. A shape-shifting killer designed to deceive, infiltrate, and terminate. But something stopped him. She was hurt. Vulnerable. Damn it! Devon muttered and began to dig her out. Part 2. The hidden cavern. Dragging her to a nearby cavern system that had survived the bombardment, Devon set up what was left of his medkit. The underground heat vents offered warmth, and the alien stone filtered radiation. It wasn't safe, but it was better than the surface. He laid her on a slab of cool rock. Her breathing was ragged, irregular. Black ichor leaked from several gashes in her chest. Her exosuit was torn, and one of her arms twitched uncontrollably from nerve damage. "This is insane," Devon whispered as he activated a basic stim and administered it. "You'd slit my throat without a second thought." She convulsed. Her body arched, and then she went still. For hours he watched. She stabilized but didn't wake. Her skin seemed to shift in tone, reacting to stimuli even while unconscious. At one point, she murmured in a language that vibrated the bones in his chest, a dialect not made for human vocal cords. That night, Devon made his decision. He would keep her alive, not out of sympathy but because she might know something. Away off this rock. Signal. A weapon. Information was more valuable than revenge. Part 3. A mind behind the mask. She awoke 2 days later. It was sudden, like flipping a switch. Her eyes snapped open, glowing briefly with a golden hue before narrowing on him. "You are Terran," she said slowly, as if tasting the word. "Why am I alive?" "I could ask you the same," Devon replied, keeping his pulse rifle within reach. "But you're not in a position to fight me. Your body's been regenerating. I patched you up with human tech and a whole lot of improvisation." Ketheri blinked, as though surprised to still be breathing. Her fingers twitched. "You should have killed me." "Yeah," Devon said. "Thought about it." There was silence between them, the kind only war-forged soldiers knew. She looked at him, not just with suspicion but calculation. Devon could feel her mind analyzing angles, movement, air currents. "Your people burn stars for fuel," she said at last. "And your kind thrives on chaos. Why save me?" He looked away, sighing. "Because maybe I'm tired of killing." Part 4. The healing process. Over the next week they developed a rhythm. Ketheri's wounds were too deep for Terran medicine alone. Her body required neural harmonics to regenerate, a kind of psychic frequency she could no longer emit in her weakened state. To assist her, Devon fashioned a rudimentary resonance chamber using power cells, exposed neural gel from a downed Illith comm drone, and his own pulse regulator. Each day, he calibrated the frequencies by watching how her tissues responded. Each night, they argued over food, territory lines within the cave, and the war. "You bombed a neutral sanctuary on the Los Prime," she accused one evening. "You assassinated the entire peace delegation on Ganymede Station," Devon shot back. "And yet here we are," she whispered, flexing her healing arm. "Sharing rations. Sleeping 10 meters apart." There was a moment when Devon chuckled. "I guess that's diplomacy now." The more time passed, the more human she seemed. Or perhaps the more alien he became. Kethery spoke of her people's rituals, how they bonded through memory sharing, their minds literally interwoven in moments of vulnerability. She could never go back, she said. Her failure on Dalvik 7 had branded her. Exile or death awaited. Devon felt a pang of recognition. He wasn't sure he could return either. He had lost too many comrades, seen too much. And saving her, an enemy assassin, was likely treason. Part 5. A signal and a choice. It was Kethery who eventually found a way to boost a distress signal using her recovered mental frequency and Devon's transmitter. The cave's geology amplified the pulse across the planet. But who would come first, Terran Command or the Illith? They waited in tension. Each day, the bond between them grew stronger. Not just in trust but something deeper. Shared survival. Shared silence. Shared guilt. One night, as they sat near a thermal vent, she spoke softly. "You have seen me broken. In my culture that is intimate." Devon met her gaze. "You've seen me trying to be more than a soldier. That's pretty damn intimate too." She reached out slowly, pressing her fingers to his temple. A faint pulse traveled through him, like a memory not his own. Childhood under twin moons. First kill. A mother's song in a tongue never meant for Terran ears. It left him breathless. "That was," he gasped. "You showed me your truth. I wanted you to understand," she said, voice barely above a whisper. "We are not so different." The next morning, a ship descended. It was Terran. Part 6. The Return and the Reckoning. Devon stood at the cave entrance. His rifle slung but ready. Kethery stood beside him, a makeshift cloak hiding her most alien features. As the dropship ramp lowered, Devon was met by a squad of black-armored Terran enforcers and a grim-faced commander. "Corporal Rowe," the commander said. "You're under review for potential war crimes. We tracked your signal to a Illith frequency." Devon raised a hand. "She helped boost the signal. Saved my life, actually." Kethery stepped forward, unflinching. "I have information. Coordinates. Syndicate strike plans. I offer it freely, in exchange for sanctuary." The commander narrowed his eyes. "A Illith assassin offering peace. Why should we believe this is anything but a trap?" Devon looked at Kethery, then back to the commander. "Because she could have killed me a dozen times and didn't. Because we're not winning this war by staying the same." Silence. Then, slowly, the commander nodded. "She'll be taken into custody. Under constant surveillance." As soldiers moved in to escort her, Kethery locked eyes with Devon. "Do not let them define you," she said. "You are not just a weapon." "Neither are you," he wanted to say, but words failed him. Part 7. Aftermath and Echoes.